talk about some procedure.
So
But
that
yeah,
goes in that. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say Hayden did 2 and 3, and he was young. He was like in his late teens, early 20s when he did that.
That's perfect
Right.
timing.
So
I
No
was gonna
better
say
timing.
too, that literally goes into what I like. I had a thought, like, cause you know how people shit on the prequels, like people's like, yo, I don't really like the prequels or whatever, whatever. It's not really, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's those people that say that shit. I feel like it'd be the old heads though, like people like
That the
us
ones that
that grew
watched
up.
it.
We was like kids and teenagers when those movies came out, so those was like Star Wars for real for us.
yeah,
But
I mean it was if you think about it, because like you
We
know
grew up on it, which is crazy. Now we're the
yeah
old
like
heads that hate the new ones.
yeah I
yeah,
know, but the thing is that though, like if you look at it, like you look at I don't like the new ones, at least like the sequel trilogy, because even if like I'm considered a young head, I guess I'm only 30,
bro, you're a
but like
baby.
Hold on,
I
wait. Let
know.
me get my cane.
But like like you look at even like like even some of the old heads are coming around to like the prequels because like the story makes sense. Like, is it
Yeah.
a little contrived? Like, is the writing bad? Yeah, but I mean, it
Oh,
makes
you talking about
sense.
the new ones or the?
No, I'm talking about the prequels.
Oh, okay, okay. I
So you
mean,
got the original trilogy, and then you got the prequels. Obviously, the new ones are garbage just in general, but those don't make any sense relative to the story. Like, you know, but like a lot of the old heads who didn't like the prequels now are liking the prequels because now not only are the movies making sense, but also they're looking at all the other stuff that's adding to it.
hmm
So if you watch Clone Wars, if you watch Rebels, if you watch Mandalorian, you watch Ahsoka, all that stuff just
it puts
explains
it
everything
right in.
so much right,
It
and
puts
you
it
actually
right in.
gain a better appreciation of the story. So yeah, even though you could have Anakin talking about sand and how much he doesn't like it, as corny as that was, I mean, it still makes more sense than Finn running around for a whole movie saying "Ray, Ray," and then when he gets to her, doesn't say why he was yelling for her the whole movie.
These movies was cooked.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Those
this
sequels
wasn't
was
good.
cooked. No,
This
I was
wasn't
gonna
good.
say, so my theory on how to how the prequel should have went to me, I have a couple changes. One, I think they should have started. I like the pod racing stuff, and I liked all that stuff, but and I like Qui Gon Jinn, but I think we didn't need none of that. I feel like we could have just got rid of that first movie, and number two could have been number one. Like the age that he started at number two, I get it. Like it's cool to see him as a baby. Hear me out though. It's cool to see him as a little baby boy and how he grew up and he was a slave. And it's cool to see that. But I feel like it would have been more interesting if we would have started like when he was a teenager. He was already getting trained. Him and Obi-Wan. Like we started right there, and then Darth Maul is the villain throughout the whole first three movies. Like they don't kill him in the first movie because they wasted him, in my opinion. Like they killed him way too early. He should have stuck around. We didn't need Count Dooku. I feel like there was a lot of things that was unnecessary, and I feel like it was like to sell toys and stuff, to sell a bunch of new characters. I feel like that's really what it was. But I feel like we could have rocked with Darth Maul, Anakin, Obi Wan. Didn't need Qui Gon. He was a cool character. Didn't need him, and didn't need Jar Jar. Didn't need him. We didn't need him.
But
Get him out the
he's
way.
the real Darth Sidious, bro. I'm telling
Yeah,
y'all, boy.
That was the
that's the
real villain.
rumor.
I ain't gonna
That's
lie,
the
that theory
theory.
is top five for me.
It is.
I kind of, I sort of, I had to watch a like 2 hour YouTube video on that, man.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I think I've seen the same one you have.
cause that thing
Shoot,
was, it was detailed. I was
it is. I
like,
know.
you
My
start
gosh,
putting two and two together. He's like, he said,
that makes
wait,
sense.
I said, wait, he did know, he did.
No,
But
look,
no,
and then
I think,
well, but look, and then you get rid of one, you start at two, go into three, but well, you go into one, two, that by the end of two, I think he should start becoming Darth Vader. Like by the end of number two. You feel what I'm saying? Like he gets turned at the end of number two, and then we get a whole movie with him being Darth Vader, but he's not in the suit yet. He doesn't get like cut up yet.
Mm.
Like I wish I could have seen a whole movie with him being evil, but not in the suit. Like, you know, when he was evil and he went to the lava planet, he was killing people and he was killing all the kids. I wish I could have seen a whole movie of him being like that. But we got like that for like 30 minutes and then he died and then he was Darth Vader.
I
So
think I think so. To expand on what you were saying, I kind of could see what you're saying with one. Um, I kind of do wish one. If we were, let's just say for whatever sake, we got rid of one, and we just started when he was a teenager. So it would have been cool if they could have expanded on more of the Clone Wars, because I feel like we got like a quarter of the Clone Wars, which obviously they put into a cartoon, which is cool. Whatever, I love the cartoon, cool. But if they had made that into a show, I mean, into a movie, maybe that would have been even cooler. Cause that way we would have got more Clone Wars, more war battles. You know, maybe they could have threw like the Bad Batch or some random stuff in there, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I'm throwing extra stuff in there, but you know, that would, that could just like two 1/2 could have been like just the wars in general. Like, could have been like part one, part two, whatever you want to do. And then like three could have like gotten towards where you were talking about, where like he turns more into Darth Vader. That could have been cool.
I feel because I just
But
feel like the
I love one though. I ain't gonna lie. I love Darth Maul. I love Qui Gon. So I
well,
can't.
I'm just
Pod
saying
racing
because I
was
feel
too
like
fire.
I feel you. I do too. I'm just saying like the turn in 3 was obviously it needed to happen, but it was just so quick. I feel like we didn't get enough time to really like expand upon him turning. You know what I mean?
I think it was cool though, because only reason I did like it is because it kind of showed Anakin's like what's that called, character development, because it was just like
Yeah.
it showed like, all right, he lost his mom. He lost, like, and then like, well, sorry, better yet, he didn't lose his mom, but he lost her, kind of, in the sense, like, he couldn't see her anymore. And then going back to go see her, and then she's gone. He's like, no,
Hmm.
like, damn. And then like he starts remembering Qui-Gon. He starts remembering, like, he doesn't think, like, he's like on the side with Obi-Wan. He thinks his wife is not really with him, but she's with him, and he's like, he's having thoughts, and it's like, he keeps thinking about people he's lost and lost and lost, and it's just like, I did like the character development for that, where it was like the whole movie was like him on the edge, like he was just like always here, and then like towards the end you see him like slipping, and then he just boom, and then, I mean, it was cool. I didn't really like the whole uh the Palpatine thing. Like, it was just like, for me, I felt like it was too obvious for them not to notice. It was just
Yeah.
like, do you not see the man? Like, like,
Well,
bro, he's literally getting away with everything. Like,
well, just to touch on a couple of points, because so the reason why the Phantom Menace was the way that it was, I'll say this: I think that movie was 2 hours too long. I think there's a lot of that movie they could have shaved off. But I see why George Lucas did it, because if you look at the way Qui-Gon, so Qui-Gon has a role because Qui-Gon was supposed to be the guy that trained Anakin, because he was the one that found him. So it sets up the story of the untimely death and someone who had to jump into something that he wasn't really prepared for. And it was supposed to bring in that storyline, which ends up playing out in part 3. Even in part 2, there's a lot of that where you could tell Obi-Wan wasn't really comfortable with it. So
mhm,
there's 2 layers there so far. Darth Maul, which I'll tell you guys something about that, because George Lucas actually had a really good idea that they ended up expanding on in the Clone Wars series.
thank God they did.
Um, uh, Darth Maul. So if you know the rule of the Sith, right? There always has to be 2. There's always a master and apprentice. Palpatine always knew, like Palpatine. The theory is, I mean, it's not really a theory; it's true. Palpatine created Anakin. He did. He
Hmm.
created Anakin, and a lot of people don't really believe that theory, but he created him for the sole purpose of bringing him up and cultivating, this sequence of events. So the rule is that there always has to be a master and an apprentice. So Darth Maul was the initial apprentice. Palpatine was the master. He gets killed, opening the way for I guess maybe Count Dooku to be there, and then
That was
as
the weird
time
thing because at one point there was three.
right.
That was the only
So
weird thing.
yeah, that's the only little like hiccup. But
Wasn't he like that was Qui Gon's master,
it was Qui-Gon's yeah, he
which
was
was always
Qui-Gon's
like weird.
master. Yeah. So there's always the rule of two. So that's why Darth Maul, could he have gone into the second movie? I think he could have, but then I think the second movie really tried to delve into establishing the Clone Wars, and they actually do talk about it in the first one because
Hmm.
that's where they begin to establish that those sequence of events with the Trade Federation is why they need that in the first place.
Hmm.
So George Lucas really expanded on that. Obviously, when we look at it first glance, you don't really see it sometimes. But if you really notice, those sequence of events that happened in the first one with the Trade Federation and the Separatists is the reason why they had the part two, and then they go through Geonosis, and then you got the plans for the Death Star. So you can see how Palpatine, like if you watch it again, knowing that Palpatine is purposely orchestrating all this, it makes more sense when you watch the first movie. Obviously Anakin has to go through his tribulations. He has to race for his freedom, which all time one of my favorite scenes or favorite sequences is this pod racing. I love it. I
So
played the games
who
like
knew?
crazy. It's one of my yeah, freaking Sebulba and him knocking people out and stuff like that. So it really was like character building. Could they have maybe I used to think that the politics stuff in it was kind of superfluous, but then you look at it, it makes perfect sense.
I'm cool. I'm cool with the politics. I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. Um, my thing is just we didn't. I guess we just didn't need. I guess the main thing is we didn't need Anakin as a 5-year-old or 10-year-old, however old he was. We didn't need that. In my opinion, we could have started him as a teenager, and we could have still had everything else. And I just think Qui-Gon wasn't necessary either. I like Qui-Gon as a character. The fact that he exists, I like the character. He's cool as hell. But I'm like, dag, if we could trim some stuff off of episode one, I would say Qui-Gon, or maybe not. I don't know. Qui-Gon could have
Because
been
Qui
there.
Gon was important for Obi Wan.
Yeah,
Like his
Yeah.
character
right.
development worked on
Right.
that. That's the only.
True.
That's the only reason we need him 100%.
Yeah.
True.
Because he
Because
because
yeah.
Obi Wan isn't the teacher he becomes
Right.
Right.
if he doesn't have him as his if we don't see him as the teacher.
Right.
You see who I got back there. You know what I mean? I got my boy
Hmm.
right there, Obi Wan right there.
Yeah.
No, I like that for I like episode one for Obi-Wan specifically because I like seeing him as a young man and him like
Hmm.
developing over the years. I feel like he has
He was like
a
a big
great
brother, really. Like
he has a
wasn't
great
even
Hmm.
that
character
bad.
arc throughout the
Yeah.
whole movies. Like his arc is like it works
The show
perfectly.
was fire too.
The
They
show
did a
was
good job with
amazing.
that.
I love the show.
It had its moments, but I like the interactions with they should have just kept it at that where it was the interaction just between him and Vader because that was really the heart of the show. There was a
That's what
lot
we
of
cared
things.
about, really.
Yeah, that's all we
Yeah.
really
All
wanted
we
to
We needed
see.
more of that.
The only thing I didn't like about Kenobi was they tried to shoehorn this other Inquisitor story, which like it didn't really make sense at the end. Like it just kind of seemed more of like teenage
It was
angst
a
more than
throwaway.
anything.
I didn't care
Yeah, it
about
just
any of that,
It was
honestly.
it was
yeah,
it
I,
was it
it,
was like
it
filler
didn't.
to make the episodes longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe they could have gone like I did like the whole like even though it was ridiculous, the whole Obi-Wan and Leia getting along. I liked it. Could they have executed it a little better? Yes, they could have. But overall, I like the idea that Obi-Wan was pulling some strings years prior to everything in order to ensure the safety of both her and Luke. I like that. I like the fact that Vader has this unquenchable rage of looking for Obi-Wan, which is evident throughout the
Everything.
original. So that plays to that, but the other stuff just didn't really make sense. So it kind of like all the other stuff kind of really brings it down a little bit for me, but like obviously seeing the interactions, it's Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, the two original from the prequels. So like it kind of adds to that a little more in terms of continuity, in terms of the
Mhm.
story. So it really brings to that. And obviously, like we mentioned, the Clone Wars is such a I mean, a game changer in terms of the story, in terms of the way things are being told, adding in, filling in gaps and whatever. And a good segue into Ahsoka. You know, if you've seen Rebels, it's not even just Ahsoka; it's Rebels season 5. If you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, which I'm fine with, because it's run by the same guy. It's all brain trust behind it. So people were disappointed by the finale. I was not, because you know if you compare it to the the sequels, it may have been lackluster, but they could just make a movie or make another limited series to finish it off, because they're not just going to spend all this money to leave it on a cliffhanger and just be like, oh well, time, figure it out yourself. Like, no, you know um they're not gonna do that. So it's just it, the sequels are like it just so okay, so this is
I
my
felt
rule of
that.
thumb. Well, yeah, when I go watch movies in theaters, I I have to evaluate how I feel after I leave the theater, because when you watch a movie, you're into the story, and then there's sort of like an emotional output, and then you sit down and you think about what you saw and this and that and the fourth. I saw now Force Awakens. Okay, you setting up everything. It's basically a carbon copy of A New Hope. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're bringing in new ideas. The only disappointing thing that I saw from that movie, outside of it being a carbon copy, was where did the First Order come from? How did it just spawn out of nowhere? Um, how did they
They
get all that
definitely spawned
manpower?
out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, really. And then
We're the
why
new
were
order.
yeah, like, yeah, just like, oh, there they are.
And
Like,
you know what? You know what? For me, and not to cut you off, but like that didn't even bother me. Like the fact that it's like basically the same story. I'm cool. Just give me a good movie. Just entertain me. I'm cool with it just being like
I,
the same
I just
beat,
need Finn
like
to be a
big
Jedi, and
Death
they let me down
Star.
with that.
You said what?
I wanted Finn to be a Jedi, and they let
yeah,
me
me
down.
too.
Yeah, I felt
They
like
let
you
Especially
me
don't
with the
need
down.
way
to
he
go
They
there.
wielded the
they they gave me
lightsaber.
that little hope when he was like, oh, picked it up.
Hmm.
I was like,
Yeah, and he gets
and then they were
slashed in
like,
the back.
I was like, oh my god, bro, this movie, come on, man, y'all
But
had a
if you
good
kn-
chance.
but if you noticed, after that, after the Force Awakens, they basically dumbed down his character the last two
Hmm.
movies.
Yeah,
They made him like a super side character. They're like,
like
No, they
he's
made him
just
a
there.
simp.
he was literally like he was
Oh yeah,
Jar Jar
what
Binks.
was the girl's
He
name?
was-
The Asian girl,
Rose.
Rose. Yeah,
oh
yeah, just
God,
him and
I
him.
hated that
Yeah, I was
whole
like,
dynamic.
It doesn't
they
make
went on that.
sense.
They were on the rich planet. I was like, all right, I'm done here.
Like,
Dog,
don't
I
don't
checked
don't
out.
don't lecture me. Don't lecture me about that. Like, come on. Don't lecture me about socioeconomic things that happen in real life in a Star
Oh
Wars movie.
god,
Like, come on. If
it
you
was
want
literally so
to,
bad, bro. I was so disappointed in that.
I checked out like I feel like I checked out pretty early in that movie. Like I knew like what you're saying like after you're done watching the movie you need to process it real quick and just like really like think about it. I felt like halfway through that movie I knew it was not good. I was like, "Yo, this don't feel
I
good to
saw
me."
Last Jedi twice in theaters.
I saw it. I don't know why you would do
I
that.
saw it in
You
Well,
theaters,
had to
bro.
confirm
well,
that it wasn't good.
no, I have a story. No, no, there's a reason why. So I
Twice.
actually saw it opening weekend,
Okay.
and I was with a couple friends, and we were getting this Chinese buffet. It's up in Hazlet, in New Jersey, and there was a movie theater there. And they're like, "Oh,
Shout out to Haslett.
Oh yeah,
you want
actually
to
no,
go
that's
see Star Wars?" Like, all right. So the movie theater was across the street. So one guy didn't even pay attention throughout the whole movie, and the other one left because I don't know. So it was basically just me there. But the issue was is that I was sitting in the front row, so I'm looking up
ooh. Nah,
like
yeah,
that.
you had to rewatch that. All right,
So
I get it,
so not too long after,
I
me and
get
my
that.
boy, yeah, we went to see it a second time, and I was probably just as confused as I was when the first time I saw it, because I walked because like usually, like I was gonna say, I walk out of a theater and I can say, all right, that's what makes sense. Like the last James Bond movie, I walked out of the theater and I was like, this movie is not good. you know and like with Star Wars, like I was like, what did I just watch? And that's not a
That movie,
short movie either.
that
That's like a
movie was
2 hour
literally,
movie.
it was a 2 hour movie of me like,
And
what?
listen,
Right.
before before the sequels came out, my least favorite Star Wars movie was Attack of the Clones, right? And I seen Attack of the Clones in theaters. I remember it. I remember it vividly. I remember the moment when Yoda brought out his lightsaber, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he has a lightsaber!" Oh, it was crazy.
That was a
It
hype
was
moment.
great.
I ain't
That
gonna
was a
That
lie.
hype
was pretty
moment,
That
dope.
was yeah. He was
right?
like,
But
started flipping. I was
yeah,
like,
it was crazy. Like I'll never forget that. That was one of the like top 5 theater experiences watching that moment happen. But like, um, that was my least favorite Star Wars movie. And granted, I was a child when I saw that, pretty much. But like, I did not feel the way I felt watching uh what was it? What's it called? The Last Jedi?
Last
oh,
Jedi.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
The Last Jedi. It completely turned me off from like I did not care what happened. I barely saw what was it? The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
I barely
you want to talk
I,
about a movie
I
that's worse?
begrudgingly saw that because I just wanted to finish. I just wanted to it to conclude.
and it's
But
so
I was
funny
like,
because we all watched it. It's so funny because like anybody that's a Star Wars fan watched those 3 movies just to finish it. Like we were
yeah,
like,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
done. Like we're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
finish this. Like
It's not like I
I
went in there. I
and it's
want to see it.
and it's funny
No.
because me and my dad watched every Star Wars. Like like he took me to the original ones and all that. Like he made me watch the originals and stuff. So like I always watch it with him. And I remember me and my dad was in the movie theater and I'm looking at him. I'm like, I kept tapping him like he's like, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like if he's tight, I know I'm tight. Like
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
crazy. Like
hmm
that
so
movie was
I knew
nasty.
that it just wasn't good because like the last 3 could have just been cut off. Like they could have gave us the shows and just cut the movies. Like I would have been fine with that. Like
I would have been fine with it too.
Yeah.
But
man, I could
one
watch
of the
another Andor the last one I could say. Like
oh
love
well
Andor. Man.
before
That's my
we
show.
get into that, um, there was before George Lucas sold Lucasfilm, he had an idea of how to formulate the sequel. So obviously, you know, you right after Return of the Jedi, everybody, it's something that the Ahsoka alluded to, the New Republic.
Hmm.
So it was the rise of the New Republic, and the galaxy's at peace. Leia's a commander, Han Solo is just doing his thing.
Chilling.
Luke has kids, and Han have kids. They're doing this new Jedi Order where you can have these things. And what he was going to do is so another theme was the old school Empire sympathizers that still survived. There's
Hmm.
some of this in the Battlefront 2 video game, which was big on that storyline. um but his idea was to and they did this in Clone Wars. Darth Maul was going to come back, and the way that he came back in Clone Wars was a nod to George Lucas's original idea of bringing back Darth Maul as the main villain, and he was going to be the guy. And what he was going to do was not
Oh,
only was
that's
he going to be
cool.
the guy, but he was going to get the Empire sympathizers, and he was going to get like the underground gangsters from like Tatooine and all these other planets, which was actually done in Book of Boba Fett, but instead of
Hmm.
Darth Maul, is Boba Fett. So he was going to do that, get all the Empire sympathizers, all these other Sith that are in hiding, and that was going to be the new threat. He was going to explain it, and instead of it being Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and them, it was going to be the kids. So that the Skywalker legacy lives on to continue to be the saviors of the galaxy. So that would have been, and then I think like relatives of Obi-Wan were supposed to be there. So that would have been the whole trilogy where the first movie was introduction, second one is the
That's gonna be a
downfall.
lot better.
And yeah, so if you look at, like, again, I alluded
Him
to Book
having
of
the
Boba.
dark sword, that would have been
Yeah,
fire. That would have
you would have had stuff on Mandalore, you would have had stuff on different planets, another
been.
Tatooine siege, but all those things that are alluded to in Mandalorian, that are alluded to in Book of Boba Fett, the return of Darth Maul, that was all stuff that George Lucas had, and the Disney was like, no, we're gonna do something else.
You know what would
Like,
be even fire? Like have Darth Maul be like this main villain for like the first 2 movies, and then like towards the end, or like even the third movie, have his mom pop up.
that wouldn't be bad
That would have been fire. I'm just saying. I'm
because
just
no,
saying.
because then you know what, that would have led into the Dathomir, the witch planet. That
Oh, even
because they, and then
Sota.
again, they alluded to that in Ahsoka, where that's been a vessel for evil in terms of building the sisters and the brothers of Dathomir who have been associated with the Sith Lords. So that is also another part of it too. Because in
Tell you,
Clone
that's why the
Wars, he's
books are fire.
right. But like even just like they all built off of George Lucas's idea of these things. And the good thing that I like about when Dave Filoni does his projects is that he includes George Lucas in it to make sure that it's accurate to the lore. That's why it's so good. The only one that was good outside of that were Andor, Rogue One,
I love Rogue One.
and
Rogue One was
Solo.
fire.
Yeah.
Rogue
But
One was
the
so tough.
but they all pertain to a part of the story, and it's not like, contrived. It was all done very well to respect the original IP. And that's all we really want. Do we really
Mhm.
need like a Mary Sue and Ray to just be
Yeah.
powerful after the first movie? Or do we like it's a shame. These sequels, they have such good actors. Like they showed
Lots
Carrie
of
Russell
potential.
for one scene, two scenes in that movie. Carrie Russell's a fantastic actress. She's also very pretty. But she's a fantastic actress. You don't see her face. None of her personality comes
Never.
out through the movie. Oscar Isaac, wasted character in Poe. John Boyega, great actor, wasted character in Finn. Daisy Ridley, phenomenal
Super
actress,
wasted.
wasted on Ray. Adam Driver was probably all the actors were good to work with what they had.
I hate
Adam Driver, I thought was really good
I
because
hated
he played the part perfectly. He
Did you
did.
hate him
I
or the
hate him.
character?
I hated everything about that character. I hate him.
Well,
I hate him in that new movie 65 too, so I can't like him
Oh, it's
anymore.
just
I just
so you
can't.
it's
just
just
don't
his
like him
face.
then.
It's just
I
Adam
feel like
Driver.
no, I just
Well,
think he's trying to be that character in 65, and I'm like, what's going on? I hate this. Like,
he actually is a really
he's
good
like,
actor.
yeah. I'm like, what voice is this? That's not you. Talk
He
regular,
he
bro.
he is a good actor though. And they even if like the thing that he was given to play the angsty, grandson of Vader, which I thought would have also been a cool plot point. Let's say one of Leia's kids they decided to go rogue and then they ends up coming back, or like I like the initial premise of the sequels were good because it's us. If you didn't want to go down the family route and you wanted to go down a different route of people, fine, but you have to find a way to incorporate it where it makes sense. And I think what they were leading up to, because it's actually confirmed, because if there's one place you want to find things that are true, it's Reddit. And so
True.
this is why movies need to have one consistent director and one consistent vision, because you had J.J. Abrams do part 7, Ryan
which
Johnson do
which was
number 8.
fine. Which was fine.
Yeah,
I feel like if they didn't make 8 and 9, I feel like if we just got part 7, I would have been happy with that. I would have been
right.
like, all right, that was
No,
cool.
real
I
talk.
liked it.
It's like
Real
this
talk.
new start.
Yeah, I was
And
like, oh,
then
this is nice. I like cool. I'm cool with this.
right. And then part 9 was initially supposed to be Colin Trevorrow and someone else, but they backed out of the project late. So they had to get J.J. Abrams back in. But by that time, the damage had already been done, because this is the thing about Star Wars movies. Star Wars, relative to other sci-fi IP, is not something you can really use to like subvert expectations. It's pretty straightforward when it comes to telling the story. Ryan Johnson, who is a phenomenal director, by the way. He
He
did
did um what's not Glass Onion, or maybe he did do Glass Onion.
I
What's the
think he
first
did.
one?
He
What's the first one?
Knives Out.
Knives Out. I didn't see
Oh, okay,
Glass Onion, but Knives Out was great.
Yeah,
both
that's
movies are funny as ever.
yeah.
Right.
Ryan Johnson, phenomenal director. He
I just
did
love
that movie with Bruce Willis. I think it's Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Great movie. I
Great
love that one
movie.
too.
He directed a lot of Breaking Bad episodes. I have nothing but great things to say about
Love
Ryan
Breaking
Johnson,
Bad.
except with a Star Wars movie, because if
Get
you
your
want to really
hands off me.
right, you can't you can't subvert expectations and not have a payoff, at least at the end of the movie. You
No,
can't.
man.
Like I think that the initial plan for Rey was that she was going to be a Kenobi. That was the plan.
That's
She
what we
was
all
going.
thought.
Made
We all
made
She
sat there
was.
and thought that. We were
made
That's
like,
what I
more
thought
sense.
too, and it makes more
Made a
sense
lot more
because
sense.
then, if you tie it in, if Rey becomes the more powerful Jedi, then she saves a Skywalker. It falls in line with how Obi-Wan was training Anakin, but they're in sync together. That's the whole point. And then maybe bring back Obi-Wan as a Force ghost when he's kind of younger. This, and that, and the fourth. That makes perfect sense. But they were, and this is the issue with Kathleen Kennedy too, is they were trying to push this, like, we need to make Kylo Ren and Rey a thing because that's what's going to sell,
it
and it
was the worst
killed the
thing
movie.
ever. Oh my
Yeah,
Nasty
because
god.
movie.
then it knocks out all the other characters. Like, what
Finn was
purpose does
gone.
right, right? He just became a
Gone.
simp. The whole movie, he's like, "Where's Rey? Where's Rey?" Like, I don't know,
Oh
she's
my
right there.
god.
Homie, she ain't that into you, bro.
That
But
whole thing with the mirrors and stuff like that.
Oh
Oh
my
my god. I
god.
was I was sitting there home movie like this. I was like,
yeah, don't even.
like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh, it's just they said they made Rey too powerful. They
Yeah, they gave her everything. They were like, you know what?
yeah,
We heard, there's other Jedi's, but we're gonna give you everything. Just take everything. Like, she don't need
it's
this.
no.
She's just out here beating people that have been training their whole life. Like, I was like, okay.
Hmm. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
At least Luke even went through a little training. Like, he went through
Right.
some training. Like,
Hmm.
he trained with a top tier. Well, I mean, Yoda's technically in the top three or so.
Even towards the end of like Return of the Jedi, Luke was still kind of like washed. Like
100% washed.
he no, like real talk, like he basically had to uh
Retrained himself, really.
yeah, and but he had to do it here. That's the thing.
Mentally, he was gone. That's why. Yeah.
Right. Because he was so
Isolation is crazy.
right. He was so eager to help his mates out in Empire that homie straight up forgot that he had to finish his training. But see, that's the payoff you get
hmm
from finally facing your fears towards the end, you know? And
That's why it was like I always think that movie had good points in the movie, but it never delivered because I felt like the characters just didn't fit to do what they wanted them to do in
but
the
they
movie.
weren't
Because
relatable.
well,
That's the
like you
thing.
said, like her not being a Obi-Wan made everything very weird. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, so what's her real purpose? Like I'm like,
Yeah. And then you drop this thing on us that she's a Palpatine. Like you go
like
from her not her parents not mattering at all
I'm
to
like,
now all of
wait,
a sudden
so
Palpatine.
I'm like, who the
And
heck
then
is this Palpatine? Like,
and then
what?
oh, don't even get me started on that because now you go into this. Okay, got me going. Okay, so first off,
Are you in your
so,
bag right now?
Nah, he's definitely in his back because I
You in your
understand it,
bag
bro.
right now?
so okay, Exegol. Okay, it's a Sith Lord. It's a Sith world. Okay, I will extend you that much because there's a lot of universes in Star Wars that you can check. Exegol, it's a Sith world where the power of the Sith is, heavy in. Okay, that's fine because there are other worlds explained in Clone Wars where the force of the light side is also very prevalent. Like in the story arc where the son and daughter of the force, where Anakin basically conquered them, and he becomes the all-powerful Jedi, basically. That's all plausible. What I don't understand is that okay, first of all, again, doing things without explaining it. In all the time that Palpatine was dead, right? First of all, when you bring back Palpatine on its own is bastardizing the original movies.
Already, I was already out on that whole third movie. I just needed to watch it. I was
Yeah,
already out, but the fact that they brought him back, I was like,
it's like
yeah, this is
and it's
And
why is he here?
yeah,
they were in the ultimate Sith Lords. I was like,
right. So it doesn't make
oh, so
sense.
y'all all meet here? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Like
like
you're
we
not
do
even
have like
supposed to be here. You
we
remember
have
Space
meetings twice a
Jam?
week.
You remember Space Jam when Charles Barkley was playing the girl one on one? She's like, you're not even supposed to be
He's like,
here.
who are you?
Be
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Oh yeah, be
So
gone.
so
Like,
like
come on, man. Get him
so
out of
like yeah, so like you bring him back already bastardizes the original the original movies, because that was the whole point,
Oh,
was to
nasty.
save his father from that evil so they can conquer it. That's the point. Oh, somehow Palpatine returned. Oh, his force spirit was interjected into this thing, and yeah, like that. Like, no.
Nasty.
Secondly, how did how, hmm, how did this guy, who's not even alive, how did he manage to get a bunch of working Star Destroyers, which are not tiny, mind you, those things are huge, tiny Star Destroyers, fully staffed?
Dudes that dudes just working there. They don't even get paid. They just working there.
No,
They
they
just
don't.
working there.
They're just like, they were just there. Like, they have
Imagine,
fully.
imagine you working for some dead dude that you don't ever know. Like, yo,
Oh, the HR
you
in this
got your
place sucks.
yeah, for real. Like, you talking to the boss and he's like, yo, your manager's like, bro. He's like, yo, bro, when do we ever get wages? Like, yo, I ain't got paid in months. It's like, man, give it time. He's
No,
coming,
real
bro.
talk.
I tell you,
Yeah.
once Ray grows up, I'm telling you, bro, we
That's
getting
when we got
paid.
it. That's when we
We
get
getting
that
paid.
money. That's when we get that bread, bro. So then, then like, and then like, if this place is so
Oh my
like, if
god.
this place is so secretive, or if this place, first of all, the place was so secretive, but then somehow everyone managed to find it,
Oh,
just off
easy,
of a,
easy,
just off of
easy.
changing a signal on a thing, like,
Hmm.
and then like,
I
to
knew where
make
it was at.
matters,
Mm-mm.
and then to make matters worse, like, okay, so now Ray has to face her grandfather. Her, first of all, her grandfather's already dead. He's just
N-
kind of there in spirit, but not in a good
Nasty
way.
work.
And
Very
then
nasty.
like, and then like, the thing that I did like though, yeah, pretty much. The thing that I did like though, which I thought was really cool, was that they had all of the different like Jedi, like Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Qui-Gon, all
Or sure,
talk to her.
sure. Give us some cool shit in a terrible movie. Sure. Give us
Yeah,
some cool moments in a
which
terrible movie.
which I thought was really cool, but like, because then that, reinforces the whole Force Ghost,
Yeah,
this
it
and that, and the
goes to
fourth.
everyone.
But like, like, then she fights him. It's the most pointless fight. The guy's basically in a wheelchair. Like,
Bro,
all
I'm
he
gonna
has
I'm gonna
is,
be honest with you. I remember this because I watched it, but I'm telling you, I did not care what was happening in that third movie. Like
dude,
I
neither did
checked out
I.
completely.
I just like when
Like
all the other ships were randomly coming through, fighting destroyers. I'm like, yeah.
it's just
Wait, I don't care.
I feel like that
Yeah,
final fight was just like, let's just
it
make it
was,
big. I feel like that's what they
yeah.
said. Let's make
I,
it big.
now you know what's
Bunch of
funny? Because
shit.
if you watch it and like you watch it, like let's just say you never watched Star Wars ever, and like you just watched that last movie, you would just think like, okay, this is like that client, like it's like that, like like in, let's say like the Avengers, like you put that big moment where everybody's
Hmm.
fighting each other. That's what it looked like. Whereas like I
Well,
felt like
that's what they were probably trying to emulate.
it
It
would have
was
been better if
nasty.
there was like more like I'll say like more Sith, like actual like people like to fight, like not
Oh,
like not just Palpatine or like what I'm
Just
saying, like just
some
somebody
faceless.
else, like
There was no stakes, and they killed. We didn't even talk about how they killed.
because
See, the second movie is what messed it up. I feel
I
like,
was just about
like
to
the
get to that.
yeah,
I
I
know
was gonna say the
exactly
second
what
first
you
movie
were referring
movie.
definitely
to.
killed it.
Listen, the first movie was good. Like I could still watch the first movie. Like on its face, I feel like it was good. Like
I
I
haven't seen
enjoyed it.
any. I
It's
ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't seen all three movies since the theater.
Yeah,
I
oh
same.
refuse.
really.
I refuse.
The
Hmm.
first one isn't bad. Like if you rewatch it again, it's entertaining. And when you first see it, you don't know what's coming next, so it introduces a new concept, new characters. It feels like a fresh, like, oh, this is like a new. I can get with this. Ray is cool. I like what she got going on. Finn has a lot of charisma. I just liked the new energy that they was coming in with. I dug it. But then that second movie messed up everything.
Everything.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
after that second, I was like, yo, I can't this I'm off. I'm off the train. I was on and I'm off. Like, and yeah, they killed old buddy Snoke.
Snoke.
Yeah.
I was just about to mention that.
Why? Like that's how you tell that's like
He
what
was
you were
killed
saying,
so
like they need
easy. Like it was like, oh,
Yeah,
boom. He was killed just the same way.
Darth Maul was
Count.
killed.
No, no, Count Dooku was killed. Like just boom,
Just
done.
1, 2, 3. But Count
Like
Dooku was there for at least a.
Yeah,
We
Count
seen
Dooku
him do
lasted
some
a
cool
whole
stuff.
movie.
Like you know,
no. I said, but the way they killed him, like, cause like, all right, like, let's say like Snoke. We didn't even, first of all, we didn't even get to see anything from Snoke. Like, Snoke was
no.
just this person. Like, we just like, okay, and like in my head, I'm like, oh, when we see Snoke, he's gonna be on one. I thought he was gonna
Hmm.
be similar to like what's the dude from Clone Wars? The dude with all the arms. I can't even think of his name.
Grievous.
General Grievous.
Yeah, like you know how John Grievous gave us like granted he wasn't like a super Sith, like but he showed like we saw him fight,
Was
He
like
no
we
was a
saw
Sith at
threat. He
all.
was he
what I'm
was
saying, he
somewhat
was
of
a
a
threat.
threat.
Yeah, we saw general, I'm saying
Yeah.
general. I get to see him fight. I got to see he brought out the
Hmm.
lightsabers. I'm like, okay, this is fire. But Snoke, we didn't get anything. Like Snoke was just like
No.
a guy. Like he
Nothing.
sat in the chair like this.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like it goes back to what you were saying, John. Like the fact that they switched directors. I feel like
Yeah,
yeah,
you could
they had
tell.
J.J. Abrams on the first one. Cool, whatever. Okay, let's see what the second one is. But they didn't let him complete his vision. They switched directors to somebody else, and then they tried to go for like a different, like let's make this different. Like you said, let's subvert expectations. Let's do something different. And you don't need to do that. I feel like in movies in general, I hate when they try too hard to like subvert expectations, try to do
Mhm.
something different. You don't need to do that. You just I'm cool with the Star Wars formula. I get it. Episode 7, it followed the formula and it was cool to me. Like Marvel movies have like a strategic formula. It's like
Mhm.
beginning, middle, and then the big climactic fight scene at the end.
Hmm.
Granted, some of it is repetitive. Some of the movies, cool, it works. But overall, it's like I'm entertained. For me, I'm just like I just want to be entertained. And I feel like I could be entertained without you completely shitting on everything that I was looking forward to. Making Luke Sky oh my bad. Like the way Luke Skywalker, yeah, now I'm getting worked up. But like the way the way they made Luke completely like I feel like that was so against what I would believe like Luke's natural progression to be. Like as far as him rejecting the force and going into hiding, like he I didn't like the whole storyline of he felt like he messed up and he had to exile himself and you
I
know
also didn't like him. I didn't like was Kylo killing the youngling because I was like, this is the same exact thing that happened. Like, I mean, like, granted,
Hmm.
okay, it can happen, but like, don't use the same thing. Like, it would have
Yeah,
been
it's kind
cool
of
if
a
they,
reach.
yeah, because it was just
yeah.
like, oh, what happened? What happened? What happened to the other? Oh yeah, he killed the youngling.
But why? See, when Anakin did
Anakin
that,
did it because he
he
was following orders.
he had a motive. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was trying to get his like dark side points up. Like, you ever played Fable? You ever played the game Fable?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're trying to like just do a bunch of evil deeds and
I'm
get
Hmm.
crying.
closer to the darkness, like that's what he was doing. He was just trying to, get his dark side points up.
He's just trying to get his quota.
Yeah,
But the
he
thing
said,
about
"Well,
He's like, yeah, I
what's
gotta
the
get my points
quickest?
up, bro.
Yeah, what's the
but
quickest way
Five
I can do it?
stars.
Yeah, what's the
but
quickest way I can get 5 stars? Just kill a bunch of children. Like that's it.
it's like GTA over here.
Like
But
yeah,
like the thing about that though is that um the issue with how they went about the whole Kylo Ren character, how he became that way, it ties directly into Luke Skywalker, like you said. Luke Skywalker is arguably the most optimistic person ever. You know,
So
he
where did
had
this come from?
he at when he became self-actualized after defeating Palpatine and becoming the Jedi that saves the galaxy. And they show this in Mandalorian and they show this in many other things where Luke shows up in, after the fact. Luke is very composed. He's very strong. He's very centered. He's not, he's very optimistic. He's not scraggly, angry old man that they made him out to be. First of all, it's a crime that he was not or barely in 7. Okay. That is a
Oh, he was in
crime.
it. He was in it.
Just at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
he got
Pretty
like
It
a
didn't feel
much.
like
million.
it.
He got like $1 million for like 5 seconds of screen time,
More.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
now
But
he
like
got paid to be in
Yeah,
there for 3 seconds.
the crime that those new movies did in that sense was not having Luke, Han, and Leia all together at once.
yeah,
They were all in different parts. Now, you touch on Luke. why would first of all, why would Luke Skywalker try to kill his nephew? What motivation does he have from the way that he's been to kill his nephew instead of just properly training him? If they wanted to really go that route, they should have just made him rogue, not Luke, feeling some type of way and then abandoning himself on an island. I understand that you have to try and find a way to get Rey to train and all that, but there's a different way you can do that. Make her unstable so that his calm demeanor can counteract that. That's the point. He's supposed to be the guy, but we want to subvert expectations. Because if you notice after that movie came out, Mark Hamill's talked about how much he didn't like it. He said it straight up. Like, you can go online, there's a whole 25-minute compilation of him just crapping on these movies. But then you see with what The Mandalorian has and other media has with Luke, is that he's the same guy he was at the end of Return of the Jedi, basically nixing in a
He's a
sense
cool
how he
guy.
was. Just a cool cat, man.
I don't know why they made him some. I don't want to train you.
And then
Like,
he's
okay, bro.
drinking cow bantha
Who-
milk and all
I'm
that.
over here
It's
watching the movie. Like, who's that? That's Luke. Who?
yeah, right.
See, and they
You know.
messed their opportunity up to Everett. Well, obviously Carrie Fisher passed away, but then
Mm-hmm.
also they had that one shot. Harrison
Got
Ford.
basketball in the mind.
Yeah, yeah,
He's-
right. Harrison Ford hates doing these or notoriously hated doing these movies. So the fact that they got him back to do number 7, killed him off, and then you completely if they wanted to all right, let's try to do this again. They're not going to get Harrison Ford back on board with this.
He's
He's
also
done.
8 years older than he was when the
No,
Yeah,
no,
movie came
they
out.
might be able to get him. They might be able to get him. He did another Indiana Jones, so
Yeah,
that's
well,
off
well,
the boards,
you
man.
give him enough money, he'll yeah.
but
There
now,
it is.
but that's the sad thing now is that
But
you're
That
Carrie
movie
playing
was
Fisher
on.
passed
trash,
away
bro.
though.
That movie
Yeah,
was
you're on
trash, by the
borrowed
way.
time now. That was so sudden how it happened, because that's why I say it's a crime how they didn't include them all in the same spot. You would think, oh, these are probably some of the 3 greatest characters in cinema history, and you can't even bother to have them in the same place for one scene.
Just one
Are you
scene of them,
kidding
just
me?
it could have just been one still shot, just them together. Would have been
Or
great.
at least if if they're getting backed up by the first by the first the first order,
The new First
like
Order.
have them, where they just some magically came out of nowhere. They have them be together to figure something out. Like, come on, you know, like it's, this movie's
Have
just
you
such
been to
a source.
Disney?
For the Star Wars stuff. No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh man, bro, you gotta go. You
Mm,
gotta go. Bro. I'm telling you, I was there. I was geeking out the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, I had that one of those moments where you're like, and I was like, I was with my girlfriend at the time, so I'm like, she's like, oh, you were talking about this all day. I'm like, yeah, we're here. She's like, you okay? And I'm like, this is good. This is good. She's
did you
like,
do the build your lightsaber thing?
what? I was in there with them little kids going crazy. I don't know which one I want to make. You see
You
that
know what?
little oh
Give me a
wait, my
second.
head is
I'm gonna
going.
show you something.
That
Hold up.
that that
Go ahead.
little
Keep
statue
going.
thing I
There
bought
it
there
is.
too. Oh my god, I was spazzing in there, man. When they had the little they have the basically the market kind of thing
Yeah.
going on, and you're walking through it. It feels like you're in the movie. Like you're like, bro, like
Yo, I went to I haven't been to the Star Wars stuff. I went to Harry Potter
oh yeah, that thing was
stuff
good
over there.
too.
Yeah, that's fire.
Universal's really good. They
Right.
did it looks just like Hogwarts. Like you feel like you're walking into when you walk through Hogsmeade, you're
Yeah.
bro, am I here? You get the butterbeer, you start feeling yourself like, yo, hold on, I'm here.
No,
I'm here.
it was some heat. I'm mad I didn't get to get a wand.
I got a I think no, where did I buy from there? I didn't get the cloak. I got a rugby from there. Yeah, I got a rugby, which was it has
Like
what is
Quidditch, a Quidditch
yeah,
thing.
it's like a Quidditch rugby thing I got. It was so
That's
cool. I was
fire.
like, I love that. But yeah. Other than that, I did want a cloak. I want a Slytherin cloak because that's what I think. I did the little testing. I'm Slytherin, but
Put you in Slytherin.
yeah. And in the game, when they came out with the game, I was big Slytherin. You know the vibe.
Yo, I have not played the game.
Now the game,
Oh my
if you can get it on sale, that's the best way to get it because there's no like DLC or anything. So like once you beat it, you beat it. So
oh
like I always tell
man.
everybody that like you should probably wait till it comes on sale like to get it, but like because there's no like online. I think if they put an online mode in that game, it would have been fire.
That's what I was kind of mad about. I was like, yo,
hmm
I heard about it. I was like, yo, there's no multiplayer. Like
All it
what?
needed was a PvP and it would have been fire. Like, ah, man, if you could have just like, like let's say we just talking shit. Like, oh yeah, I want to battle you. All right, boom, we can get into a PvP. You slither and like they could have made it where it's like let's say if you win, you get points towards whatever like you can call it clans, but like for them it's Slytherin. What is it? Gryffindor. What all the other ones like you can just keep pushing it up and that'd be fire.
Yeah,
But they didn't. I don't know. I feel like they might have rushed it. I don't want to say they rushed it, but they may have rushed it
they definitely didn't. They definitely wasn't considering
because the game
multiplayer.
was
I don't know why.
complete. Like when you play the game, it's fire. Like it's a complete game. But
Yeah,
I just feel like if they had added that online, bro, because like it has no longevity. Like I beat the game, I didn't play it again. Like I still haven't played it. But
like there's nothing else to do once you beat
yeah,
it. You
yeah,
just
because once alright, you can beat the story mode, but then like they have like the side quests and stuff like that. But once you complete that, what do you do? There's no DLC for the game right now, so like, you're just sitting there waiting. So I mean, whenever it comes, it comes. So I mean, we haven't gotten it, so I don't think we're ever. Word on the block is that they will be adding it, but I mean, what are they gonna add? They added in the movie. I'm sorry, in the game, they already have like the newer movies, like the ones that are like Fantastic Beasts.
yeah.
They added those in the new one, like in this game.
Oh
Like in the game, they already talk about the Fantastic Beasts. You have like the book. They even name drop the dude from the movie. So it's like, do I really need that? So yeah. I don't know. They didn't go 100% on the movie. I mean the game, but online would have made that game so much fire. But yeah, they didn't want to do that.
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, man. Man, I want to go back. Not me talking about it now. I just want to go back to the freaking to Disney just to go back to that place because when I saw the ship, like it's just everything. Man, when you go into the restaurant and they start playing the music,
Oh shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally like, like I was with my girlfriend at the time's family. So like, I'm the only one geeking out because I'm like the biggest fan here. So that I'm over
Right.
here like that's my song. Like yeah, they're like,
That's my song.
they're like, oh, you know this song? I'm like, bro,
You know this song?
That's my
yeah, I don't
jam,
know this.
bro.
Like, bro,
Cantina music. You know this song?
like yes. I'm over here like dancing in my head, like it was just crazy. But like nah, it's definitely the amount of money that Disney put into that
It's a
to
lot.
the to
I'll say
Disney and
that.
then like the ride that ride, bro, when I saw a walker in the the whole ride is like based on you like you're like some random merchant kind of thing and like you get on the ship and like you just go through the ship kind of thing like you're sliding through a glider kind of thing and like part of it you get to this part and like you pass by and there's a giant 3-4 walkers, bro. I was like bro, Disney, you guys are rich. Like that's all I would say to my head because like
That's
a
that
walk
Florida money
a
right there.
walker a walker was something that like I
Shout
seen
out
in
to
the
Florida.
yeah, shout out to Florida. I mean, but like, bruh, a walker? That's something that like I saw in the movie and I thought like, like you see that in the old movies. So you're thinking like, man, this ain't never gonna be made. Bruh, they
Nope.
made them. I just thought I'd never see one, bro. Like that was crazy.
Damn.
I'm like, it's a real walker. Like I just wanted like if it had walked, I probably might have cried. And they would have been like, yeah, it's literally a walker walking. I'm like, it's a walker.
Yeah,
Like,
I
bro.
know.
Like, bro, that was crazy.
Yo, I got I guess two questions for you guys. So let's do
So
your
quickly, I just want to show something real quick,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
and you guys will like this. So, I
What
can't
you
find my Allen wrench, so I can't put the blade in. But this is the blade right here, right? But on saberforge.com, I managed to buy with my one of my COVID checks. I managed to buy an Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber from
Ooh,
episode 3.
that's
That looks
fire.
fire.
Prodigal son.
So I turned
Ooh,
it on.
oh, that sounds authentic too. That's fire.
Yo, how heavy is it?
Um, it's not light. Let
It's
me
not
tell
like
you,
it looks like it's got some weight.
because so if you look at it, so this is the speaker right here. You could get this just with this,
Hmm.
and with the blade, that just turns on and off. But inside here is a whole electrical console. They make these
Oh.
custom for the way that you want it. So you take the blade, I pop out the top here, and the reason why you can't see the light is because this thing's not plugged in. But you take the top, plug it in, put the Allen wrench, and then you can actually duel with it. Now I have decent sized hands, and this thing is big.
Hmm.
So, but
Prodigal son.
and I could change the audio, and if I wanted to, I could get this redone and change the color. So if I press the button here, and it's like it's the same blue from episode 3. So this is the thing to keep it like locked up so it doesn't randomly turn on. So pop that in there. So this is my lightsaber
That's fire.
from. So it's dope. I've always wanted one of these. So this is the one from Revenge of the Sith. So
And that,
Unpopular. I don't know if this is unpopular opinion, but you just said the blue from episode 3. I liked the blue from the original trilogies better than the new blue, if that
I
makes
like that. I
sense.
like that
it's a darker
green.
shade,
Give me the
slight
green
darker.
That
lightsaber,
green.
baby. Give me that green.
Which
What if
which
look,
green?
I'll take that double red though. I ain't gonna lie. Give me that Darth Maul.
I mean
Cause I
that's
ain't gonna
that's
lie, when he brought that out
I
episode
mean
one,
who didn't want that?
bruh, when that
Oh, I
happened,
wanted one.
that was a top. Look, we remember we was talking about the Yoda moment. That was the top 5 moment. He came out. He said, "Psh," we were like,
See?
all right, cool. He got one. He said, "Psh," I said, hold
I
up,
didn't
brother.
see that one in the theaters though. I mean,
Oh,
when did that came out in
Which one?
99, right?
the episode
Episode
one.
1.
Phantom Menace came out in '99. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I was 8.
I was
yeah.
7, I guess, or something, right?
I was
Something like that. I was
I
like 6 or 7.
was 6 or 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
when that
I
came
was
out.
so gassed. All I saw was, and then he said, I said, I thought pod racing was lit, but what is this? Yo,
What?
what's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah. No, really.
That was
Oh
tight.
man.
Let me
Now I
see.
got you. I got you guys. So 2 questions. One, um, I guess your 3 favorite characters and a couple of your favorite moments throughout all of Star Wars, not just the movies, any of the shows, just a couple of your like those are my moments right there.
Damn, that's
If you need a
big
second
question.
to think, I'll say my 3 favorite characters off top in no particular order though, but
Hmm.
Obi-Wan, one of my favorites.
Mhm.
And especially with the show kind of like really stamped it. I'm like, yeah, Ewan McGregor specifically, like he kills it as Obi-Wan. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
this
Oh
is the
yeah.
guy. Like, like I feel like he
Oh, he's perfect for
always,
it.
yeah, and he always, for me, the character, like I feel like he's the embodiment of what a I mean, then there's Luke, who becomes the embodiment of what a true Jedi is supposed to be. But I feel like Obi-Wan is like the embodiment of like a Jedi, like how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a Jedi, like the whole
Yeah.
philosophy. Like he was by
Mhm.
the book and he stuck to the plan. He stuck by the book, and he always had one up on Anakin. Even in
Mhm.
the show, like it kind of like really puts it into perspective. Like he always had one up on him, and I felt
Yep.
like that was like basically telling you that the light side will always have like one up on because you're more count you the dark side is more emotional and you're more like just acting off the impulse, and the
Lot of
light side is
reaction.
more like calm and
Mhm.
calculated, and I feel like that always
And he was
trumps
always
anything.
calm.
He
He
was
was
always one
always
step
calm.
ahead of
Always.
Anakin.
Yep.
Yeah, always
Even in the
calm.
most crazy moments, he was very calm.
Mhm.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna say Obi-Wan, um, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, uh, yeah, Darth Vader specifically, and uh, Darth Maul. Um, yeah, I like the bad guys. Obi-Wan's great, but I like the bad guys for
He's
real.
a Sith Lord.
Yeah, I would have been a Sith Lord for real, like for real. And then a couple moments. One of my favorite moments that I just think of when I think of Star Wars, like my early childhood moments, is like um when Empire Strikes Back, when Luke goes to fight Vader, and like when they first start fighting and they're in the dark, and it's just like Luke's blue
That was actually a
lightsaber
good
and
one.
Vader's red
Mhm.
That
lightsaber.
was actually dope, actually.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
just that poster, that aesthetic of just them in the dark with their lightsabers, I feel like
That was
that is
clean.
just
Especially for
I
an
love
old
that
movie, that
image.
was
Yeah,
very clean.
yeah.
Very clean.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, you see.
Mhm.
I was
yeah,
like,
right.
that
Yeah,
was
that
clean.
was fire. That's
Ah,
fire. And Yoda lifting the
the X-wing on
yeah,
Dagobah.
the X-wing. I feel like that's probably a lot of people's like like
That was
just
heat.
training
That was
with
heat.
Yoda in general, but like him lifting it up and like telling him like, "Oh, that's why you fail." Like because
Mhm.
he didn't believe that it was
Yep.
possible or whatever. Like I feel like that right there is like the epitome of what it is. And like that's a great moment. And then I'll give one from the prequels too. Um a prequel moment. I I think my favorite moment in the prequels, honestly, or just a moment that I think of a lot is after Qui-Gon gets killed by Darth Maul, and then Obi-Wan is like like ready to go, ready
He's
to get at
hyped.
Darth Maul.
He's
He's like
Oh yeah,
hyped.
he's
hyped up.
like,
But like
that's
the moment when
that
the
was
door
heat.
finally opens and he runs at him and just
He
that
starts
little
going off.
yeah, that little brawl, that little skirmish right there. I'm like,
Those
yeah,
revolving doors, top tier movie. Like,
yes,
Yeah.
yo, that
The
just
freaking the
I like when Qui
ratios.
now when Qui Gon went to sit, he was just like, I was like, oh nah, he's
calm,
So
about to go
meditated.
let me
crazy.
interject. Let me interject real quick because you guys will appreciate this. So there's a player for the Buffalo Sabres. He's a goaltender. His name is Devin Levi. He's this French Canadian kid who played college hockey, and he's going to be the starting goaltender for the Sabres. So in between, like when they do the TV timeouts, he
Mhm.
kneels down just like Qui-Gon does in front of
That's
his net, and
heat.
he stares at the net with his head down. He kneels down just like Qui-Gon did. And when I
That's
noticed that
heat.
when I'd see him play, like when the Sabres would come here, and I'd be like, "That's so cool! The kid's one of us," you know. It's
That's tough.
great.
That
Let
is
me
fire.
see.
Yeah,
That's
and
Let
tough.
me think. Oh
and
man.
I actually think I got mine.
just for the record, Darth Maul smoked Qui-Gon. I like, come
Well,
on
No,
now,
yeah,
no, no
smoked him.
cap, no
He
cap,
smoked
no
him,
cap.
and
yeah.
like if you really pay attention, when they first fought on Tatooine, he was gonna get smoked the first time
Yes,
too.
he
No,
was.
he said it. He was like,
Like, yeah,
he said the force is strong with that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
was,
right. Yeah.
bro. He was out of breath when he got back on the
I know
ship. He was
he
out of
said
breath. He was on the ground.
he was
He was
laying like this.
sweating.
He said, man, he said he's strong as hell.
It's like, he
Oh
had me
man.
tripping, but I held my own. Fuck that.
I got my
Yeah.
three. I got mine.
So let me
All right,
see.
my three
So yeah.
characters.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
got to be Anakin, but like teenage Anakin, like from the show. Like Clone Wars, I'll say like Clone
Mm-hmm.
Wars. Him, I love that version of him because like it was kind of like it reminded me of like Obi-Wan because like he had like Obi-Wan tendencies, but he was also Qui-Gon at the same time, which I
Yep.
liked. Like it was like a very like good mix. Like he was like
Mm-hmm.
mixy, and I like that about him. I like Obi-Wan. I mean, it's Obi-Wan, bro. Like you can't not like the
I
character,
feel
bro.
like he's the Jedi. Like
Yeah,
he's
Yep.
he's
the
top tier.
archetype of
Cause
like a
he,
Jedi.
if you wrote a book on what Jedi meant, it was him. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
poster boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like and the third character has got to be for me weird enough. Like I actually like Palpatine. Weird don't judge me on that, but I just
Oh, no
like
one's
him as a.
judging you at all.
I don't like the ending of him. Obviously, we don't talk about that part of him. I just like the development of like, because like you was talking about in the beginning where we were saying like from the get go, like when he met Anakin as a child, he knew what it was. Like he was looked at him and said, "How many midi chlorians did you say he had?"
We'll be watching your career with great interest.
Like, how do you know that? How do you not know this guy is evil?
Nah,
Like, how do
that's
you
what I'm
not
saying.
see this?
Well, they didn't want to talk
The
about it, but
Sith
we
clouds
knew.
the visions of the Force.
Like,
Look,
it's
man,
crazy. You didn't even need the Force to see. Like, just look at this
bro,
guy.
he
Just look at
he
him.
checked the midi chlorians. He saw it.
Uh-huh.
So that's my top three. Moments. I mean, number one for me is always Pod Race. I don't care what nobody say. That movie was just top tier for me. Like I watched it the whole. Like you don't even got to like. You don't even have to tell me about like the. I can't even give you a specific part that I like. Like the part where
It's the whole thing.
the like the thing where he was driving straight. I said, oh, I said,
Yeah,
what we doing
that
here?
was
I saw that was clean. And like
that was coming
Anakin
around
just
this final lap a
oh
couple
that final
times.
lap, he was smoking everyone. Like
Mm-hmm.
like
Yep.
he went through so many adversities during that race. It was crazy. Like the race
Freaking
was just fire.
Sebulba messed up
Like
his engine.
messed up his engine. He over here
Cheating
lost
ass
power.
bitch.
The dude knocked him on the side. He goes through the things and landed.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, Mimi crashing? Actually,
The Tuscan Raiders having
yeah,
target
Tusken Raiders
practice.
shoot my boys are snipers and they miss it. Like, come on,
I
man.
know.
I'm pretty sure they was gambling. I'm pretty sure they was like,
Oh
yeah, I
yeah, they
bet
was
you
throwing the
$5
dice
I'm
over
gonna hit
there.
this
Oh
guy.
yeah.
But actually, my bad. Little extra character. I'll say my little fourth one. It's gotta be Jar Jar Binks because low key he's the Sith Lord. But like that's just me. I'm just saying. I'm just
That's
saying.
another conversation for another
Yeah,
day.
we won't talk about that. That could be a whole different podcast, bro. Just the Jar Jar Binks side. But uh, second moment is it's got to be Qui Gon versus Anakin. That was just top tier. Like it was mad emotion. My man said, "Anakin, I got the high ground. Don't do it." I
Yeah,
told you,
that
bro.
that
Like,
that fight was legit.
Yeah,
my
Obi-Wan and
man got it.
Anakin, like that's the crescendo of the whole
Yeah,
series.
that was
yeah.
fire. Like my man got his leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I hate you.
I didn't say that moment because I felt like one of you might have said it,
Oh nah,
and there
that's a
you go.
top tier moment.
There
Look,
you
even
go.
if you
Mm-hmm.
had said it, I would have added to it. Like that's my moment.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
same.
that's yeah,
And
that's peak.
it was a third moment. Uh, I mean, I guess it's kind of like corny to say it's my moment, but it was like the "I'm your father" moment. But like that was kind of like the first time Darth Vader and Luke meet each other. Well, not meet each other, but like fight each other. It was kind of cool for me because like I just thought like it was mad emotion there, and like I felt like they
Mm-hmm.
like Darth Vader knew what it was already, but like he ain't know nothing. Like he knew he was fighting him for a reason, but he didn't know why he was fighting
Right.
him. And I felt like that was what like made that moment so cool because it's like when you really like let's say you go into something like let's say you hate some dude for a minute, like you just hate this dude, and all of a sudden you find it's your dad. Like, bro, hold on. I gotta kill who? My pops? I didn't even know this is my pops. Like, this is crazy. So I think that was cool. And I guess I'll add a little side note was like, um, I like the clone. Like, was it the? I like when they found out that Qui Gon had set up everything for the Clone Wars. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was a cool moment because it was just like, bro, he was that far ahead that he was
Mm-hmm.
already thinking about like, bro, he was war ready. Like,
Yep.
bro, Yoda wasn't ready. What's Samuel L. Jackson's character's name? I forgot his name. Uh, what was it?
Make you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let me
Windu wasn't ready. Nobody
let me
was ready.
let me say something about Mace Windu, man. I just felt like
They did
he
him
was.
dirty too.
I
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like honestly. I just feel like that was a nasty character, man. Like Samuel Jackson in Star Wars was crazy to me. I know they made him, they expanded upon him in other things, but I'm just talking about in the movies.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
Samuel Jackson just being there, I'm just like,
Yeah. You know
he's
who
not
that?
even he's just a guy. Like he's just
You know
here.
who that was supposed to be initially, right?
Who was it supposed to be?
That was supposed to be Tupac Shakur.
Really?
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I actually
Yep.
don't want him to be in that movie, so I'm happy he wasn't there.
Yeah.
He would have been
Tupac
the
was
same. He would have
supposed to
been
be
doing the
Mace
same
Windu.
thing Samuel Jackson was doing.
I
Yeah.
just I just think that Samuel Jackson fit the part a little bit better because he was older. And I felt like he just looked like a dude that was like just gonna be a dick about things.
My
He was the whole movie. Like
my
he was like,
my
nah, you can't train him. He was like, what you mean you can't train him? I was like,
You are on
my
this
bad, bro.
council, but we do not give you
see
the rank of
that
master.
my issue is
I
that
had me pissed.
it
I was
was
like,
Samuel Jackson. Like he could like Samuel Jackson's a mad animated actor. Like you
yeah,
need
he
to
played a very calm,
like
Yeah.
if you're using
calculated
him, you
dude.
need to use him to his full extent. I feel like he was just like subdued. Like
He
they
only
What
could
did
have
he
used
did
do,
that.
better.
bro?
I think he only used it in the battle versus Palpatine. That was the only time he really like was
Yeah.
animated.
Well, he was a
He
bit
said,
animated
Anakin,
during
do what you
the
gotta do.
Battle of
That whole
Geonosis.
transition was hilarious to me. That's honestly comedy. Like I like the moments, but that unlimited power, like that whole
That
thing,
was a top
man,
5 moment
comedy.
though. He said he was laying on the ground. He was Anakin.
Yeah, no.
I need him. Cuts his arm off.
Oh man,
Um.
that was just
Oh man.
nasty moments. Like, but they were. It was hilarious to me.
That was a top. Now, actually, if we just gonna add an extra moment. Fucking add that
Just
limited
add
power.
that in
That
You
shit
there.
might as
was
well,
funny.
right?
He
Shoot.
said, "Unlimited power."
Oh man.
Oh man,
Got me thinking now. My 3 favorite characters. Uh, it's one obviously Obi-Wan. Obviously, I bought the damn lightsaber for goodness sake. I've always liked Ewan McGregor as an actor. I thought he basically acted like Alec Guinness did in the original trilogy. He said he based his performance off of how Alec Guinness would have done it if he was younger, which I love. And he's also really funny. Um, Another character that I really liked that they developed properly was Ahsoka, because they were able to add a storyline that was completely absent from the movie and give it so much depth that they were able to give it life. And it explains a lot of things, and it explains a lot of motives from not only just Anakin, but just from the Republic in general. Because the way that Ahsoka is, she's very similar to Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon was one that didn't really follow the rules, as you talked about him basically planning the clone army with Sifo Dyas. So she became the like spiritual successor of him, because she doesn't align with the
Anything.
Jedi temple rules, but she's still a Jedi, but like on her own terms. That's what Qui-Gon was. And they elaborate more on that
In
in
the
this
sideshow.
in this one called Tales of the Jedi, which if you haven't seen it, it's great. Like they're short episodes of just little things here and there, but there's one episode with not count his name is Tyrannus, or not Dooku, rather. His name is Dooku, but he's not like evil yet. When he was Qui-Gon's master, they kind of go into a lot of that. So Ahsoka is definitely another one. So Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and then I want to say, shoot, this is hard. Hmm. I'm gonna say Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, and the reason why I say that is
Okay, that's a good choice.
um, because he had such a profound impact on like his little group, and he was also another one of those like rogue Jedi where he was trained initially in the order, but he decided to do his own thing. But it ended up working out because it really did win them a lot, and he went through a lot of struggle, not only with himself but with the Force and what he was trying to do. And ultimately he became a martyr for the cause, but it just elevates him to that level of like, a lot of people don't realize that, which is why a lot of people started watching Rebels because of Ahsoka, because no one understood the references, you know. So those are my 3 favorite characters, my 3 favorite moments. Well, you guys said a couple of them. Obviously, you got Duel of the Fates in episode 1. You have the Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end. One of my favorite moments was the end of Andor, when they were having the the
That was a clean
the
move.
ceremony, and then they ended up deciding to like rebel against the people. And then another one from that show too was when it was the guy. I can't remember the character's name, but it was the tall white guy who was playing both sides, and he was doing the dirty work for the rebels, but he was pretending to be like a shop owner. And the guy goes and he asks him, "What did you sacrifice?" And he goes on this incredible like minute or two rant about like, "I've sacrificed everything." Basically, that's another key moment. That show is so good. Oh my gosh.
It's 100% fire.
Another moment that I liked, I guess this will be number 2, was you mentioned the pod racing, so I'm not gonna try and I'm trying not to mention stuff that you guys already said because all of those are my favorites.
You made me think of something. One of my favorite characters and moments was Bill Burr being in Star Wars.
Oh, he was in
And
Mandalorian. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and
He was a bounty hunter.
him
which is actually
openly
very cool.
him before being on the show, he openly said he did not like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was on the show and he started to like, come around like, oh, it's kind of
Yeah.
cool. But just his character being like, just like kind of shitting on what's going on. Like his character's like,
His
just like,
character's
what? Why are
him.
you wearing that helmet? Like talking to Mando, like, why are you, like, what's the rules? Why do you have the helmet on? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like him
That
just
was
taking a
cool,
piss
though.
on it. Like I'm just
Yeah.
him being there taking a piss on the
Well, his
everything.
character's
was-
him. That's basically Bill Burr in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He played
That's him.
himself. He played
Yeah,
himself.
Yeah.
Very easy. Very easy to do.
So I said the end in Andor when they decided to take over from the Empire.
That was very cool.
That was dope. Another moment that I thought was really cool was if you look at the end of Rogue One when they were trying to get the signal out to transmit the Death Star plans, that whole ending scene.
That ending was very
from-
sad.
It is because they blow the
Don't
planet
make
up and they die, but it was just not only did they sacrifice for the cause, they were able to get the transmission through, but then the lead up to that with Vader exercising his cruel nature of in the freaking bay, taking out his lightsaber,
Oh my
slaughtering them.
God, that was
I forgot about that one. That's a top
just-
3
yes,
moment.
that is
He said,
man, that's top of the top.
Yeah, just
He
as
was
Held
the
dude up
rebel
to the
plans,
ceiling, held the dude up on the
yeah,
ceiling, cut
And
and
the
then
rebel
all
plans-
you just see the red saber. You like,
yeah, and the
Oh,
rebel
man.
plans just making it, which
crazy.
adds
I
a bit
forgot
of
about that.
tension to it. And then I guess the other one that I really like too, and there's so many I could pick from, but after they intentionally get captured to Jabba's in Return of the Jedi, when they
Oh, yeah.
intentionally get captured by Jabba's crew and they're getting ready to throw them into the Sarlacc pit, they had already given up R2 and C3PO. R2 had the lightsaber ready and they just start killing everyone. I thought that was probably one of my favorite moments
flip.
because like Luke is just so cool about it. He's like, R2 ready, lightsaber comes out, like
And
That
it's
was
green.
That was it.
yep,
It's like,
That was-
oh, it's
that
green.
I told you that green is fire.
which is that's gonna be my next purchase.
Look, I ain't mad at you, boy. I ain't even mad at you.
And
So
they
those are
kill
my- those
Boba
are
Fett
my-
terribly. Like he just dies. Like just
No, he doesn't. Well, he
a
didn't technically
casualty.
die.
Well, okay, I forgot.
He gets
You're
He
right.
didn't technically die.
He comes back. He
gets
was
hit.
dead up until what 2021 or whenever that show
Just
came
about.
And so somehow she brings him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
She
alive.
drags him out. Quick drag. He's only been there for a few years. Like
Yeah, he didn't totally die. He just
thi-
died in
he
his
died
soul.
inside. He died inside.
Yeah.
I think
Now he has to
also
take baths every day.
also a couple other just honorable mentions of characters. The Sand People are just hilarious characters to me. I don't. They're the right amount of like funny but creepy at the same time.
They're
Like
very
they're
creepy.
Yeah.
they're very
so ugly.
jarring and creepy, but at the
So
same time,
ugly.
it's like what the fuck? Like,
I did like how they expanded on that in the movie because, like, you got to see how they get dressed, how they have to wrap up every time.
Yeah, that
Like,
was in Book of Boba Fett.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was very cool seeing that. Like, how they taught him how to train. So I'm over here like, okay, so this is like what? Because like we seen them in the movie,
yeah,
but we never seen them in the movie. So it was very cool. Even those the little like the dudes with the glowy eyes, the little dudes, the ones that steal
Jawas.
everything. Yeah, I like that because it was like, all right, we see them in their natural habitat. Like that was fire.
they're just
Yeah.
little thieves.
Yeah, and
Little
now
pawn
Yeah.
shop guys.
And I did like that. And I guess like even in the Mandalorian, seeing like because like if you watch Clone Wars and like read some of the books, you see a lot of the you see the other Mandalorians and stuff like that. So you see like you see the wars and stuff like that.
Death
So it's cool.
Watch.
Yeah, see that's why it's very cool. Like especially when in Mandalorian when they added those characters in, it was very cool for
Mm-hmm.
me because it was
That's
just
Yeah.
like we get to see it.
that's another character, Mando. Like
Yeah, Mando's cool.
fire
Mando's
Din
character.
Djarin.
yeah,
Yes.
Din Djarin, he's a very cool character.
Mm-hmm. Bo-Katan's also really dope too.
Yeah.
Which,
Fire
fun
character.
fact, the woman who plays
She's
her in the live action show was also the one that voiced her in
in
Clone
the
Wars.
show. Yeah.
Mhm.
They do that and they do that consistently with a lot of the actors. So the guy that voiced Thrawn in Rebels is the guy that plays him in Ahsoka.
You know what's so
Oh.
funny? Ahsoka is literally just Rebels Part 5.
It's season 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
I said.
literally everything that we didn't get in season 4.
Mhm.
Season 5, we got Ahsoka.
Which, let's just say, Rebels was a phenomenal series.
Oh,
Like,
100%. But it was slept on. Very slept
yes,
on.
it was because of the animation style.
Yeah, because
But
they
that
changed it
problem,
completely, and everybody was like,
yeah, it was a little more
because
rounded
Clone
out.
Wars was like easier to watch, and then
Yeah.
you go to that, and you're like,
Damn, I gotta watch Clone Wars again.
it's so funny. I watched Clone Wars as a kid, and I didn't watch it again until it took me a long time to watch it again because when they started talking about like the new movies and stuff, like the shows, and I was
Mhm.
like, I gotta rewatch this, and I was like, all right, because I had
So
recently
good.
had watched Rebels, because my dad is crazy. I told you my dad, he's big on it as well. So like he literally told me he was like, yo, I've been watching this the new Star Wars. I'm like, new Star Wars? He's like, it's called Rebels, and I'm like, I ain't watching that. Like, bro, it's not. I was like, and he was just like, nah, you gotta watch. He says fire. I was like, okay. Oh, Bad Batch is fire too.
Bad Batch is
At
pretty good too.
the first, I actually like the first episode a lot
Mhm.
when they show like when the order finally goes through. I
Mhm.
did like that moment. That was a
Yeah.
very cool moment because it was just
The
like they were
defective
like,
clones. Yep.
what's going on? Why they wugging? Like,
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
because I can't imagine like you just sitting there having a regular war and then all of a sudden,
Just
order.
yep. Execute Order 66.
That
It's like,
that's got to
okay.
be one of the craziest things too.
But
Like
the thing I
moments in the
like that
show.
they tied up with it was that it's they implant an inhibitor chip that they have to do it. And then they basically become self-aware that I don't
Mhm.
want to do that. You know? They had that's a whole story arc in Clone Wars and in that too, which is great.
Because they
Shout
made
out
it
to
pretty cool.
Plo Koon, also another one of my favorite characters.
He got shot down.
Yeah, he got cooked. They did him dirty. One of the
He got
coolest
shot down.
characters. Immediately when I saw that dude, I was like, "Oh, this is one of the coolest characters." And then he was in one of the video games, and I was like, "Yo, this is a
Let me
cool
guess. It
character."
was I know the
Shout
game you're
out to the
talking
video
about.
games.
It was Star Wars Jedi Power Battles.
Damn,
Yes, yes.
Jesus.
And he had
Don't think I
his
don't.
lightsaber matched his skin color.
It
He
was
was
the yellow
literally
one. Yep.
yellow
Mm-hmm.
with a
Mace
That's
yellow
pretty
Windu's in that one
saber.
too. I think Qui-Gon is in it. Obi-Wan's in it. Oh yeah. So you talk about video games. So there's I mind you,
Video is
Star
a whole
Wars.
nother art.
Yeah. There was a
Just the-
game.
yeah.
There was a game called, actually, I think I still have it. It's called Star Wars Obi-Wan, and it came out only for the original Xbox. And
Oh,
basically,
Damn.
what you
wait.
did was
I think I played
you
this.
it was like a side story. It was kind of clunky as I had tank controls, but it was fun. I loved it. But you basically went to like the underground to find stuff out. So it was a decent enough
I
game.
don't
Like I
think I
played the
played that
crap
one.
out of it. It's
Wait,
like
you said it was a
It's funny.
side
I
scroll.
own
It
the
was a
original.
side scroller.
no, it was third person, but it went through like
It was
this like
episode 1. Was it episode 1?
it was episode 1 Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that one.
So
I never played that.
it had like tank controls. The lightsaber was kind of wonky, but it was a fun game because you went through like the underground and you basically did like missions from like the side, like side missions, like that would be considered side missions on a movie. So the interesting thing about that is at the end of the game, there is a full-blown battle royale. So it's you facing all of the Jedi Order in the Jedi Council chamber. So basically, you have to go. I mean, I don't know if you have to, that level comes after you beat it. So you basically go into where they have the council meetings, and you just fight the other Jedi.
That's
It's
crazy.
it's wild. Like, and I used to do that all the time, and I was like really good at it. So it was
That's
cool.
wild.
Look at I kid you not. Just type in Star Wars.
I remember that
Obi-Wan,
game.
Look it
I'm
up.
about to, yeah. When I get a chance, I'm gonna look up that end battle because I'm like, yo, I remember
Straight up.
playing that
I'll
game.
show you I'll show you the disc.
That's wild. I don't know that game at all. I'm over
Nah,
here.
I've definitely played it. I don't think I ever owned
I
it.
only played the newer. Well, I played like the old ones, like Squadrons and stuff like that, and then I played because I was more like I was always big into like the shooting games and stuff like that. So like when they came to the like a game that was gonna have like a story, I knew I wasn't gonna play it, so I
Right,
just never played it. I was like, nope,
right.
I ain't getting
It's
that game.
more Battlefront. Yes, I played that. Yes,
Wait, did I play that?
yes, I definitely played that.
Holy snap! Yeah, I think I played that game. Okay,
Wow,
okay.
it's
See,
a
I don't
throwback.
see. Look, you know what it is? I
That is
played
a
it, but I never beat it.
throwback.
See, remember I was telling you what I did with those kind of games. I bought that game, never played it.
Oh,
Oh
I played
damn.
it. I remember why I played it because I got it from Blockbuster.
Oh,
I
it's a
rented it
rental
from
Wow.
game. Rental
Blockbuster.
Shout
game.
out to Blockbuster.
Yes, rented it from Blockbuster. Yeah, I never owned it. So I
Yeah, so
remember playing like the first couple of levels, never got that far though.
yeah, that's what
So
I
it
I probably played maybe 20 minutes of the game. I'm
so it
100%
says
sure.
here, it says the fate of a Jedi, the destiny of a galaxy. Draw upon all of your Jedi training, force powers, and lightsaber skills to defeat the worst scum and
The
villainy of the
worst stuff.
galaxy. In the
Ex-
weeks prior to the Trade Federation invasion of Naboo, Obi-Wan discovers an underworld trail that
They
which
only had
leads
2
from
weeks.
crime lords in the lowest depths of Coruscant to the home world of a mysterious new enemy, the Jinha. So basically, you go to this underground forest. You actually fight Darth Maul in this, which is weird. But you
So
actually
he
go through
fought
a
him
lot of
already.
levels. Yeah,
That's
I
actually
think
weird. Then they messed up with that.
I think you replay the level that you replay that scene
Oh,
where
the
he
episode
dies.
1 soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
you replay it because it is tied to episode 1.